number 3 and quarter number 4. Now my hands are empty. Watch the first two. Watch the first two quarters. If I click the cards, they jump from one side to the other. Quarter number 2 follows quarter number 1. If I take the quarter, place it into my hand. See if I click the card against it, it disappears and drops down here. The last quarter is the toughest one. If I just snap my fingers, it jumps from one side to the other. Isn't it weird? Watch it go. What? I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. What was that?
What's underneath there?
Oh, I do use an extra coin, but I'm really not sure what that is. Sir, would you check these out, please? Make sure they're real. Yeah, examine those. I'm sorry. I love doing that. It's actually, this is the way I give my kids their allowance. Let me tell you, it helps.
Yeah.
I've got something I want you. This is something I think you're going to enjoy. Let's see. What would you say? What would you say that is? You can pick it up and look at it. Pretend you're interested.
A piece of wood.
Okay, a piece of wood. Very good. Okay, what would you say that is?
I thought it was dice.
Mm-hmm. It could be a die or a wooden block or a cube with holes drilled in each side. Right. Very good. Now, one thing about this thing is when you hang on to it, I want you to hang on to it with your whole hand. So your whole hand is wrapped around it. Okay. If you would please close your hand. Now hold it up so everybody can see. Now, also down here in my pocket, I also have a small stick with 3 diamonds on it. Now, this is a little hard to see from the top row, but I'm going to kind of move it so they kind of glitter so it shows up a little bit better. Okay? Now, there's 3 diamonds on one side, 3 diamonds on the other. 6 diamonds total. The strange thing is when you push it through your hands, see the diamonds change color. Now they're blue. Look, if you pass it through your hands, they change to white diamonds again. If you turn it this way, nothing happens. The strange thing is when you turn it the other direction, that's what causes the color change. Now, people, whenever I do this, they think that I use 2 sticks. So I'm going to remove a second stick. Now we have 3 blue diamonds and 3 white diamonds. If I take the stick with the white diamonds, if the white diamonds are here, we do a little move called the double back palm switch. See, that switches the sticks. Now the blue diamonds are here and the white diamonds are here. This is getting very confusing. Let's get rid of one of the sticks. Watch closely. 3 white diamonds, 6 total on both sides. Watch what happens. Oh my gosh, the diamonds disappear. Would you open your hand? She likes it. I really like you people. You're so nice. This is, I'll do one more. This is a classic in magic. It starts off very simply with 3 small cups. Now, I want you to notice, first of all, cup number 1 passes right through cup number 2. Number 2 goes right through cup number 3. Check them out. Make sure they're empty. No wires or trapdoors or hinges. Make sure the cups are completely solid. Okay? You check out okay?
Yes.
Okay, we have 3 small cups. Now, besides the 3 cups, we also use 3 small little balls. This is a classic in magic. There are 3 cups and 3 balls. If ball number 1 goes on top, it just drops down to the table. Now, ball number 2 follows ball number 1. Look, see, it actually just disappears, and then it drops down below. Now, the last ball is the toughest one. It goes through 2 cups. Watch. See, we have 3 little balls, 1, 2, and 3. And 3 cups. If one ball goes here and nothing here or here, but if I take the ball out like this, toss it towards the cup, one ball actually jumps from one cup to the other. If I put a ball underneath each cup, that way each cup gets a ball. The balls disappear from the ends and then gather together mysteriously in the center. 3 little balls, 3 little cups. I'll make the trick a little bit easier to watch. If I take the first ball, you get rid of it. Ball number 2, you get rid of it. And again, the 3rd ball you get rid of. The strange thing is, this ball comes back to a different cup. If I take the ball, you get rid of it, it comes back over here. I'll start all over again. Look, if I take the ball, you get rid of it. It actually makes all 3 together land in the middle, but 3 are taken as a group. Well, there they are. They go in my pocket. And my hands are empty. I'm going to let you have your choice. Wait, not yet. There's a choice about it. Listen, would you like 3 together as a group in the center, as a group, or 1 ball underneath each? Which would you like? It's your choice.
1 underneath.
1 underneath each. I am so glad you said that. See, because they're too big. They don't fit underneath. Can I have a round of applause for my 2 wonderful... My name is Glenn Bishop. It's been a pleasure and a privilege and an honor to appear for you today at the Magic Castle. Enjoy the rest of the shows and enjoy your evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
His name is Glenn Bishop. Glenn, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you.
Tell
It's
me
nice to be
about the first game that you're going to show us.
here. Well, I've always loved the old-time swindles. Now, this is a classic, and it goes back to the early days of the Riverboat Gamblers. It's called the All 3 Shell Game. There's 3 shells and a small sponge, which is called a pea. Now, the idea is when the 3 shells are mixed up is you have to watch which shell contains the pea. If I were to mix them up, you have to watch which shell contains the pea. Go ahead, which one? Right, and that's not very hard because there are 3 shells and 1 pea. Again, though, if I were to mix them up, you have to watch which shell contains the pea. Go ahead, which one? I tell you what, let's start all over again.
That's incredible. But I'll catch you the next time.
You'll catch me the next. I'll tell you what, sometimes what'll happen is the con man will try to up the odds or as far as the money, and what'll happen is he'll add something like a glass. And what he'll say is, now I have a glass here, sir. I'll cover the shell and give you an easier chance. Watch the pea. If we cover it with a glass, if I mix it up, now he'll get you again. Some people say it's over here, or in the center. Where would you say it is, sir?
It has to be under the glass.
Underneath the glass. Let's take a look.
Amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah. Hoisted by your own petard is what they say. This is called the bust-out bluff, and this is another one of those sucker moves, okay? Watch the pea. The more you watch, the less of a chance you get. There's the pea. If we mix them up, you have to watch which shell contains the pea. Again, which one? I'll start all over again.
You did it to me again.
Yeah. Now, one of the really interesting things that Bruce mentioned at the beginning of the program, as far as we were talking about the shell game, the new way to do it today is with bottle caps. Now, it's the same trick, the same move, the same cons, but it's also done with bottle caps. If I mix them up again, which one has the pea? We'll start all over again. We'll do it one-handed this time. Now, the pea starts inside the center bottle cap. Now, whichever way I move the bottle caps, it stays in the center bottle cap. But if I mix them up, again, which one? The hand is quicker than the eye.
That's great, Glenn.
Yeah.
As I mentioned at the opening, these games are actually being done on public transportation in the city of Chicago.
On the L's, the buses. As a matter of fact, a lot of times they'll be done just wherever anyone has time to kill. It's basically done all over.
I've been in New York walking down a major intersection, and I've seen people with card tables, and they'll be doing this at a busy crossing where hundreds of people pass by. Have you seen that done in Chicago?
I've seen it done a couple of times in Chicago. Chicago with the shells. I was up in Ripon, Wisconsin, all the way up in Ripon, Wisconsin, doing a grand opening for a store, and I saw a guy doing it with thimbles. 3 small little thimbles, and it's the same trick with the bottle caps, but he was doing it with thimbles, and he was using the same moves, and people were going for it. They were putting out hundreds of dollars.
Obviously, I've tried to uncover your trickery by standing here very close to you, and we've talked a little bit before the program, and I've been unable to do that. So it's very obvious that people who see this game being done anywhere should avoid getting involved with it, because it's impossible to catch the individual if he's good. Is that true?
It's very hard to catch the individual. One of the reasons is because they use people in the audience. As a magician, I would call them a stooge, but a con man would call them a shill. okay, somebody in the audience will do a fake, or they'll be signaling this person in the audience. Like, for example, now there's the P. If I mix them up and I decide to put the P under a certain shell, I'll signal my partner where it is, okay? For example, it's underneath the shell, so I'll signal my partner by placing my right hand on the table. Now he knows where it is, and that's very important, because if you guess which one it's under, he can cut in and make a bet on it, and that way I don't lose any money. The money's going to my partner.
I see.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And it's the same type of thing. In other words, sometimes the signal is, for example, if it's underneath this shell or underneath this bottle cap, I'll put my left hand on the table, and that way he knows exactly where it is. Or if it's under the center, both hands are off the table. Where is it? So my partner knows exactly what's going on and where I decide to put it.
It's very interesting. So people have to be very aware of the kinds of trickery that people who do these kinds of things use.
Yeah, they're after your money.
Show us the card one. That was very
Okay.
interesting too.
Now, an outgrowth of the shell game is a 3-card monte. Now, this basically, the history of this came up from Mexico, from what I understand, or at least from what I've read. The same idea, 3 shells and a P. Instead, we have a queen and 2 red 10s. Now, the idea is when the 3 cards are mixed up is to keep your eye on the queen and ignore the red 10s. Again, if I were to mix them up, now obviously if you're watching, it's over here, right?
I would say here.
Well, I'm trying to tell you how the game works, okay? Let's start all over again, okay? I'll do it one-handed, watch. Very slowly. This is slow motion. 10. Queen. 10. Slow motion. Where is it? We'll start all over again.
This is getting very frustrating, Glenn. I'm glad I don't have any money bet on this.
This is something that's really rarely seen. Watch. 2 red 10s and a black queen. Again, if I mix them up, watch the black queen and ignore the red 10s. Okay, now this is like the shell game. Again, what you see is not what you get.
Fascinating.
Yeah, the hand is quicker than the eye. One of my favorite games as far as the con man, again, he'll use a shill in the audience. What'll happen is he'll bend up a corner. Okay, now the crowd thinks, I can win some money on this because I know exactly where that is. I see that corner bent, okay? Now, what'll happen is the cards will be mixed up a few times. For example, we'll play it like as if it's a game. Okay, where would you say it is, sir? Okay, it's the bent up corner, okay? Again, we mix them up. Keep your eye on the black queen. Again, where would you say it is, sir? Okay? Now this person that's guessing it would be my shell, the person that bent up the corner. Now the game starts turning. Red card, and the black card. Now if I mix